What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network. Today we got with us my man Skeezy Scott. How you doing, brother?
What's up, my guy? It's always good checking in with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's really more what this is. This ain't really no theme, Joan. Or I mean, you always releasing some and pushing some, but I just wanted to rap a little bit because I see things is changing, especially since when I first became familiar with you and got to know you, and I'm curious what's life been like lately? Like before we started, you was talking about you ain't get to hear the Rich Gates episode talking about about being a CEO because you've been catching so many flights and just checking your Instagram, you've been hella busy. But more specifically, what's going on?
Well, you know me, man. I'm always just keep putting the pieces together. I don't want to leave anything behind. So, where we left off was on the audio dope mixtape, which is doing good, by the way. Right now, it's at like 37,000 on live mixtape, so it's doing good. I'm checking my analytics. It's a lot of people tapping in. I got like Columbus, Ohio, that's like number one. I got New York, that's number two. I got Los Angeles, that's like number four in there. So
Hey,
definitely the
why you
West.
think Columbus, Ohio?
I think because that's live mixtapes headquarters. So
Yeah. Yeah, I always be thinking
but
about them with Cleveland, but yeah, you're right. Yup. Good pull,
so
yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of so Ohio tapped in first, and they show love, and New York is catching up to me, man. They fucking with the swagger, man.
Word. You know it's funny. Well, I know it's funny, but let me ask your opinion of this. And like I said, this is just some conversational shit. But do you think you could have made it as an artist with the music that I think you could have made it as an artist, but with the music that you were making 20 years ago? Or do you think they would have been on that bullshit of like, that ain't rap, that ain't R&B? Like you would have been too boxed in. Cause you got your own sound, and like definitely like in the 90s, she was homogenized, like you had to fit in a box.
Yeah, I think it definitely would have been a little harder saying like, especially before the South really took over with it. I think it would have kind of been more of like if I wasn't doing like uh, like the boom bap type of like shit, or just doing like some straight like NWA type shit. I think everybody else was kind of left out. So
I mean,
yeah, I
but that
think you're
being
right,
said, though,
bro.
you is from Cali though, because and you do got that hustle. Maybe you would just pressed up your own shit and made such noise independently that they would have been forced to come to you.
Well, I think that could be true too, but it's been like a real big stereotype though. It's like people back then didn't want to really hear a lot of different stuff. Like they wanted you to fit in and be like, make this the sound, like don't forget about what's going on, like stick to the sound. And that's when everybody started breaking off. So I think I would have did fine, but I think I would have had to, compromise a little bit more.
Where what was one of the first artists that you really got into that you felt was quote unquote breaking off? Like for me, I would say I lamed out on Outkast. I like the first jump because it was all gangster and shit, but then it got too weird for me. But then I started like really listening to it, and I was like, okay, there's some different shit, but it's cool with me. You know what I mean? Because like I ain't go front before then. I only wanted to hear gangster shit because like I mean, I ain't trying like I'm all hard and shit, but I grew up where it was rough and all that good shit and was in jail and shit, so I could kind of relate to what they was talking about.
That's a good one. I kind of think more of like people like Too Short, people like UGK, people like that kind of like, was like, okay, I'm a rep from where I'm from, but I'm going to also bring it a whole nother type of lingo. I think I respect a lot of people that, talk that talk of like, how they really bringing it instead of fitting in. So I think those guys are the one that kind of change it for me. Like, oh, okay, you can harmonize with your gangster lyrics, or you can, put some funk on it when you're trying to spit it this type of way instead of just staying straight to it. You know what I mean?
Hey, so let me ask, what I might have said this shit to you before because we done a few jumps to that episodes, but what do you think of this statement? By the logic you just gave, and I agree with it. In some ways, Nick Cannon is the realest rapper that ever got on the mic. Not real as in the hardest. But if you think about it, that motherfucker ain't never lied on a record about shit.
You know what? I definitely got to give him that, man.
That man
He
said that
definitely
man made a song said your daddy don't like me. And I guarantee he had a relationship where the daddy didn't like him. You know what I mean?
You know what? He did stay to himself, man. You know, he kept it. Another person was Will Smith, man. Will Smith definitely made it cool to be like,
But
quote
Nas wrote, but
unquote,
not
square.
Nas wrote all the lyrics.
Well,
You
now
know,
that you say that,
you know, like Nas wrote "Getting Jiggy with It" and the Men in Black shit and all that other shit, right?
yeah, but you know what? I mean, he definitely wasn't talking about coming from the projects like Nas, but I get it. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
go back and listen to it, and you can tell. Jay-Z wrote the lyrics to Dre Day, and you can tell. I
Right.
can, and I ain't trying to front like I'm the world's most expert leader on ghostwriter because I've made suppositions that was wrong before. But you can definitely listen to that Dr. Dre Chronic 2001 or whatever, whichever number it was, and tell who wrote what songs. You could tell that Eminem wrote some Dre Jones. You could tell that Snoop wrote some. You could tell the DOC wrote some. You could tell the Hitman wrote some. You know what I mean?
No, that's true.
What
That's
what what
definitely true.
what do you think of that? Like, because like nobody says shit about singers, but would you let somebody write a song for you? What if it was a songwriter that was presenting Jones and and you heard some shit that was like, damn, that'd just be perfect for me. Like, would you view that as an artistic sellout?
The only thing they can write for me is their part on the hook that they're laying, but everything else I gotta lay myself, bro. I can't take no penmanship from anybody else.
Have you ever been the person in the situation pitching songs? Because I could definitely see you doing that. You are a hook master in a few different ways. Because I notice how you got the bridge hooks, you got the Jones that's a little longer, so that like kind of I can say dominate the song, but make it less necessary to have three verses. You know what I mean? And I see you got the Jones that's more attuned for those with a shorter attention span, like the kinds that play for the the radio. Well, nobody gives a fuck about the radio, but the Spotify playlist.
Right. I think for the most part, yeah, it's been a couple that I pitched to like some artists kind of like when I was first coming up, a couple people that I was around and different studios I went to. But for the most part, I try not to really give out my lyrics, man, because it's more straight to me. I can't really speak for anybody else.
So you don't ever come up with like a melody that you got some lyrics to go with it that don't apply to you, and then you be like, man, I could sell this shit.
Nah, for sure, man. I definitely think a lot of people. I won't say a whole lot, but a couple of people that I've heard their stuff, and I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I inspired that.
Well, I referenced earlier. Make sure everybody go make sure they go check it out. We did an episode with Just Rich Gates talking about transitioning to a CEO. With Brick Squad, he got to witness some of the best CEOs in the history of music. Really, I mean, Gucci Man probably the best A&R ever, and you're now part of that direct lineage. And I was asking him about what about you made him want to make you the CEO of a division of his record company, because I mean that's a big deal. Like if you don't do right, that makes the whole brand look bad. And clearly you got the skills to pay the bills, but you personally, like, how did he approach you about it, and how did you feel? And now that you're in the midst of it, what do you think about being a CEO?
At first, man, it was kind of like we didn't really like plan it out, as far as like, hey, this is gonna be like the future direction of what you're doing. It kind of was just like how I was like marketing it, and just like, what, like this thing is getting way bigger than where it is, like it already left the home base. We got members around the world. And I'm like, this coast that I'm on right here, they're loving this shit right here, so it's kind of was just like, like, man, Skeezy, you've been at the round table so long, it's time to really just step forward and then just bring this whole faction behind you on the West, man. Like, let's put it together. Like, you're getting a lot of connections out here. I'm bringing some things together, and a boss can always need help. Like you can't do everything on your own. So, I was ready to step into that, man. So, but it comes with following directions, though, man. It comes with learning from somebody that got more experience from you, and then you applying it to what your hustle is. So,
I mean,
so that's how we put it together.
You gotta be a soldier before you can be a general, right?
No doubt, bro.
But that being said, so how's it been? Has it been what you thought it would be? Harder?
For the most part, I think when it comes to like if I'm trying to bring like different talent on and things like that, I kind of had to take my slow time with it because being like with a lot of different West Coast artists, it's kind of like real cliquish. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to pull people away from their clicks or, try to put an artist in position and be like, hey, I think I can see you doing this, let me step in and kind of manage some stuff for you. Miss 22 was kind of the only person, who I gave that whole trust to. Everybody else, it just kind of like, it's not really an easy process, but I think it can be done later on.
Yo, we gonna get to Miss 22, but I'm curious. Have you ever came to a point where you had to make a decision that was better for JCE West that might not have been the best for Skeezy Scott, the solo artist?
I think so, yeah. It's been different things that I've wanted to do as far as like how I thought about it. And then I'm like, you know what? I got to think about it as a whole business model, as a whole. I'm like, when you representing like a whole brand, especially that came before you and everything that's connected to it, and then you think about how you were as an individual artist before you were there, you got to balance it out. You got to think about the position you got there and then think about how can you make it work. So yeah, it's been different things that I wanted to do. And I'm like, you know what? As a collective, this won't really make sense as for the JCE brand. So yeah, there's certain things that I wouldn't brand with the JCE West. Nope.
Nah, I can dig it.
Yep.
You brought Miss 22 up. Her new project Turbulence is definitely having its fair amount of success, and I mean that must. I mean, I know you got the belief in it, but it must be great to feel that validation, and then to see how hard she's working, because like you talk about signing artists. A lot of problems people have is that they sign the artist got the talent, they bout it, but then 2 months in you can't get them to come to the studio, and obviously she's been working her ass off.
You know what, man? She's sitting on songs, man, and I already knew that rollout and the presentation of it was going to be good. Like as soon as the tape dropped, she probably hit like 3,000, 4,000 views in less than like 2 days, just off live mixtape. And that's being her debut mixtape, like official project with no, real like live fan base that was already there. So right now it's sitting at about almost 11,000 views, and that's just people just going to check her out and being given her a shot. So the future on that is definitely pretty bright, man. Like, I knew what it was since day one.
Oh, definitely. Out of curiosity, what do people in your circle, or even just people that you've played Tears from a Gangster for? What's the reaction the first time they hear it?
It's one of them that just makes you like you really think that you about to vibe really fast and just be like, okay, I'm about to get in like, that type of hip hop zone right quick. But then when you really hear it and like by the time it gets halfway in through that chorus, you're just like, you know what? This is gonna be one of those that I gotta sit back and just really think on now because now it's captivated me versus just trying to make me in a vibe. Like it's one of those like real breakout singles that rarely artists find, and she found it on her first go.
And I'm the weirdo that listens to shit like 10 times in a row when I like it. It annoys the shit out of my wife. But you must have heard that song mad times, just from being immersed in the environment. And one thing I noticed is like you catch more shit from it the more times you hear it. Did you peep that?
You know what? It was a couple of things that I didn't hear at first, and when I heard certain parts of it, of things that I know, personally that I know, and when I heard, I was like, oh, I didn't even hear when she said that, and I'm like, you know what, like she really put it all on this track, man. Like that track was definitely the moment of how she felt. Like I can tell that, you know, whether it was written down on paper or whether it was freestyled, but that was directly from her, you know. So anybody that hear that song, just know personally for me, like that's exactly what she was going through.
Oh, I believe that, but the one thing I noticed is you're absolutely right. On the surface level, she's talking about, I'm not gonna say captivating because that sounds like the wrong word, but shit that grabs a listener. I mean, some of it's difficult to listen to, but the way that she phrased some of that shit, it's almost like it's a societal commentary. Like it's not just the situation's fault; it's the situation that created the situation.
You know what? You probably said it the best, man. That's definitely like the best way to phrase it. You know that I felt like that song represented like a good turning point in her life. You know, it kind of showed you like she started a new page from whatever happened that led up to that song. You know what I mean?
Word, word, word. I mean, yeah, definitely. Because like you from the because you said this Turbulence is her first official project, but there's somewhat of an unofficial collection of the songs she made before that's also available on live mixtapes. And you can definitely see the difference in the growth. And who knows, maybe the Tears from a Gangster like helped her release some shit that was keeping her holding her back from feeling as free as she wanted to about the music, because like something in her made her have to get that out. Or that could be some pretentious ass music speculation. Who the fuck knows, right?
Well, that first answer is definitely the one, but we leave it up to the fans. They like decoding music, they like hearing it in their own way. I let them apply it to their life and see what they think about it.
Speaking of fans and acceptance and everything, well, congratulations. I see that your song with Rich Gates, Hollywood Nights, got some attention from MTV. That's got to be a great feeling. But I see that you're getting embraced by your peers. Songs with Derez Deshawn. You got the new Pastor Troy, and I know you pretty much expected it, because I mean, how could you not when you make good music like you do? But I don't quite know the way to put this. As it's coming to fruition, things that you've been thinking about for years, does I mean, not that imposter syndrome shit, so sounds like it's overspoken, but does it ever feel like surreal or like this ain't happening? Or
You know, it's been certain times where I felt like, man, why don't I feel like, like that feeling of like I wanted to do this when I first was starting music. But when I first started music professionally, that was my wow moment, because the first breakout single that I had without just me by myself was just Rich Gates and Day Day. So from that track, it just kind of got even way more bigger, and then I got embraced in the Dirt Gang family, start meeting everybody, J Mike and all those boys, Diego Landlord, fuck with all them. Like ever since then, man, it's been kind of hard for me to really catch that wow moment. Like the last wow moment that I really had was probably like when I first met Flocka. And ever since then, that was kind of it, bro. Like the Rez, we've been around him so many times. Doing a song with him is definitely big, just because of we already knew that he could be that star, so it wasn't really surprising to me.
right.
And the Pastor Troy was definitely legendary. He pulled up by himself, man. He came to the studio with us. He shouted us out. He took us to the club with him that night. He had a performance. Like, that probably was a wild moment too, man. Like, a lot of fans definitely embraced me off of that song alone, even more than the other bigger songs that I had. For some reason, like, he's really revered by the people.
Yeah, I mean, shit, definitely, definitely. You must not listen to much Pastor Troy in your life then, huh?
I only heard the songs that most people heard, like that was in
Ain't
your
no playing
face.
GA and all that shit.
Right, yeah.
You know about Vice Versa?
Yeah, I definitely know about Vice Versa.
Okay, okay. Well, shit. I mean, at least you know the ones that you should know. You know, when I said this shit was gonna be like a conversation, part of that is I've always respected your music knowledge, and I noticed it's very few people I can talk to about rap, like you was talking about UGK or you was talking about boom bap. But like with most cats, even people that's in the industry, it's gotta be like all specialized and niched when you talk to people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it seems like very few people got like taste across the board. And I don't know for what reason, but it seems like that comes more from Cali, Texas, and in the DC area. You know, like everyone else seems like they be real focused on regions or I just think that shit's stupid. I like good music.
Nah, for sure, man. Like I can kind of say I haven't really dug into the whole DMV side of the music scene. That's kind of like where I'm not too much knowledgeable at. I
I mean,
haven't really listened.
there ain't a lot there. I'm saying we liked a lot of different people. You know, like you know, Wale. I ain't never heard nobody in DC listen to Wale.
Right.
Everybody thought Fat Trell was. I mean, Wale blew up though, but like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk bad about him, but I ain't never heard nobody listening to Wale. And then you know, Fat Trell didn't quite work out like they thought he would. Shy Glizzy's dope, but I don't know. He ain't hit the level I thought. I'm just saying we was like when I was growing up, we was listening to rap a lot, Nas, Spice One, and like
Right.
if you even went to Philly, like it wouldn't be none of that. All they got is like you know like DJ tapes and New York motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Or if you
Hmm.
went down south, all they got is like Luke Records and Death Row Records and shit. Unless you was in Atlanta, then they got people that you probably never heard of like Attic Crew and shit like that.
No, most definitely not, bro.
Yeah, but so like, who was somebody that you was listening to? The people in your circle was like, what's that?
At first, a lot of people didn't know about like the whole currency wave. Like
Yeah.
currency, I fought with currency. Wiz Khalifa, I think like he got a little bit more commercialized fast, so people caught on to him. But you know, a lot of people don't really understand like uh, what currency was bringing to the table. So I kind of felt like I put a lot of people that I knew on to that. Um, like Sugar Free, a lot of people were sleeping on Sugar Free. You know, they didn't really know how he was coming to the game and stuff like that. But you know,
Oh,
I'll be on
classic.
the people, man. Yeah, I'm on the people that's setting the trends, man. You know what I mean?
Hey, let me ask you this though. You know, Currency was on No Limit, right?
Yep,
Did you ever listen to the 504 Boys album that he's on?
I did listen to it.
Man,
Most people don't know that
tell me he wasn't crushing them fucking verses,
he
crushing them
was.
shits,
He was.
like to the point that shit sounded like it's out of place.
But he didn't want to. He didn't want to do it, man. He didn't want to do it. That's why he walked away from it.
I could see why.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
He stayed true to himself, man.
and I ain't trying to say nothing bad about No Limit. It just it sounded like two different. I don't know too, but be that as it may, them, man, somebody should just do a mega cut of the Currency verses from the 504 Boys. That should be vicious.
I'm definitely digging that.
Word, but we can't leave this shit talking about someone else. What can we look forward to from you coming up?
Man, look, I got Lost Files Reloaded that's coming with Just Rich Gates. It's a 3-track EP. All of them are bangers. We took some stuff, we flipped it. It's coming out repackaged, man. You know what I'm saying? We already dropped one of them. It's the Pastor Troy song, Real Militant, you know, out on YouTube right now. You know, it's doing pretty good. We actually got a couple more write-ups about that should be presented soon. You know, we just got some other thing that's in the works, man. I don't really want to give out the other 2 songs. I want everybody to get ready, and you know, it's gonna come on live mixtapes too. But you know, we definitely pushing for everybody to hit Spotify, hit Apple, you know, and hit all that. Is definitely gonna be there. That should be coming to you real soon. So just stay tuned for that, man. And we got Tony Rich Tanner 3 coming too, man, featuring me and Just Rich Gates. It's probably gonna be one of my biggest mixtapes
Oh, I'm sure,
to
yeah,
date. To
yeah.
date. It's gonna change the environment of everything. The whole mixtape has nothing but legendary features. and just a whole bunch of legendary production and shit, man. It's gonna be bigger than life, man.
Word. Hey, last thing. I know you ain't married. You be rocking rings though, right?
Do rock rings.
So let's say you woke up tomorrow and you ain't have none of your rings, like none got stolen, none of that shit. Just for whatever reason, you ain't have none of your rings, and for whatever reason, you could only go get one ring. What ring would you get, and what finger would you put it on?
You know what? Probably would just give me a gold nugget ring, man. And it would have to be probably my right pinky, bro.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. Shit, ain't nothing wrong with nuggets, ropes, gazelles, all that shit. If mullets can come back, shit, we should bring back the whole New Jack City look.
Hey, you know what, man? Do your thing, man. Live free out here.
Shit, no doubt, man. Skeezy, it's always a pleasure, bro. I can't wait to hear the Lost Files EP. Shit, as always, let me know if you need anything. Check in with me down the road.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man. You know, keep grinding, keep doing your thing, man. You getting major out here.
Man, thank you, man. Appreciate you, man. You take it light, brother.
You already know, man.
Peace.